If you enjoy this video, remember to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. With that being said, hello everyone. Welcome back to another video. My name is Matthew, and today we're doing another kind of branded figure reviews, kind of like grouping a bunch of figures together. And today we're going to be taking a look at all of my Bandai America branded figures. Now, specifically, I'm going to be calling them Bandai Creation. And even though I know that's not the official name anymore, well, it actually never really was, I'm still going to be addressing them by either Bandai America or Bandai Creation, as well as in the title. So, yeah, that's a bit of clarification. But I also want to say that I do not own all the figures as of this year, 2024, and possibly never will, because Bandai vinyls are, like, especially the American made ones, are just really up in in price. And honestly, it's just really not worth it for me to buy all those figures that just go for like freaking $80. Like Rainbow Mothra and Godzilla 1968 are the only ones I'm missing from this particular wave. But still, I actually did see the 68 Godzilla in person, but I didn't buy it in favor of these two because they were more unique monsters. But now I kind of regret not buying that one, but whatever. I might come across it one day. It kind of pops around from time to time, but definitely not Rainbow Mothra. That one's a rarity. But from the ones we have pretty much all the ones from the more recent wave, the last wave before Playmates took over. We have the Godzilla 1954, or first Godzilla, the MechaGodzilla 1975, or 4. Again, I think that's the 74 MechaGodzilla, because it doesn't have the 2 emblem on his shoulder or bicep. King Caesar from 1974, Godzilla 2000, or a Millenium Godzilla, the Fusion Series version of Godzilla 2000 here in the back. There we go. The GMK King Ghidorah 2001. And for the larger scale figures, we have the Godzilla 2014, kind of like 9-inch version, and the 10-inch Godzilla Final Wars, who I can... Let's try to get him in the frame. There you go, buddy. Anywho, yeah, this is basically my entire line. I don't plan on collecting this line at least anymore unless if I find it like in stock at like a nearby place. So what you see is what I have, and you see is what I'm going to review. So enough blobbing about like my personal history with the line. Let's take a look at the figures, starting with the 1954 Godzilla, which, ironically enough, is the oldest of the bunch we have here today, because I bought this. Well, actually, I didn't buy it. My parents bought me when I was a lot younger off a secondhand site, and a lot came with it. A small Bandai Japan Godzilla 2004 and a bootleg 8-inch Imperial Godzilla, which you definitely remember those two. But this is the one we're going to be looking at today. The 1954 Godzilla from Bandai here, at least my particular copy, has been through a lot of battles over the years. As you can kind of see, like a bunch of white crusty stuff. That's not paint application. That is actually glue. Now, essentially, I got this guy used, and I didn't immediately recognize it, but this part of like the head wraps all the way around to the eye is broken. And that was kind of like my solution to fixing the problem. However, I didn't really take into account that the glue would just seep everything. But at least it looks okay. The mouth has a nice kind of like blood red look to it, with some individually painted teeth that'll look razor sharp. So it's definitely got like the cartoon aspect. Like that's kind of like what these things are meant to be. They're like fine lines between the suits and like a cartoon animated looking Godzilla. And this definitely fits the bill. The eyes are actually done pretty well. Like, even though from here it looks like he has white pupils, or they're just googly as they're supposed to be, they're actually painted pretty freaking well. Like, this is actually done better. I hate to say this, better than most SH Monsters nowadays. Yeah. As well as we have like a mild white spray on the kind of like the top of the head here. And then we kind of have like the white spray kind of going down to the frosted white tips of the dorsal plates, which are molded up pretty well actually. They still hold up rather well nowadays, and even like the white spray, even though it does stop more towards like the midsection of the tail, you can definitely see like it definitely kind of folds in like a suit. Like, you really understand what I'm talking about when it's animated, but also fuses stuff with the suit. And also noticing there's a bit of a blue sparkling from that Mothra butterfly ornament up there with 64 Goji from NECA. But as you can see, the detail work is actually done really well, and I do like what we have here. All the intricate little folds, nice like white spray here on the chest for the claws. They're definitely pretty well sculpted, pretty well painted. Nothing too over dramatic as far as like the sheer quality of it goes. And it's definitely kind of going for more, again, that very suit like aspect. Here we have the big meaty thighs, like good grief. Little sprays on the kneecaps, and then some individually sculpted toes. I mean, of course, why wouldn't they be individually sculpted? With some mild paint nicks on mine, especially because over the years it's been through a lot of stuff. And to wrap things up, tail molded. It looks pretty well in terms of size. It's definitely, again, going through more of the suit, but then kind of like swayed up in the air in order to fit in the packaging. And it actually looks pretty well as far as like the look of it all goes. The mold itself, again, take it or leave it. It's nothing like bad or anything. And I actually find it like the mold to be not 100% accurate, of course, but it's actually done pretty well. But now let's move on to the articulation. I better be very careful with the head. Head can go actually side to side, which is nice. It can also go like a full 360, which is nice as well. The arms, they can go up and down, so they can go, this one can go backwards about that far and forwards about that far. But do keep in mind, because of the way it's sculpted, it's meant to be like a signature mold, and then they just cut the articulation in and didn't really take into consideration how it would look. This one doesn't look as bad, but you can go backwards about that far, forwards about that far. But it's meant to be in like this kind of neutral stance with its arms kind of up. Legs can go. Actually, I think this one can actually go all the way around if I remember correctly, but like comfortably you can go back and forth, because then you have to start like stretching out the vinyl in order to make it go 360. This one can go a little bit more stiff even after all these years, but can go forward and back. Hopefully I got this on focus. There you go. And then not here at the base of the tail, even though there is a seam line, there's literally just a glue seal. But here we can go all the way around at the midsection of the tail. So if you want it kind of like off to the side, you can do that. Off to this side, you can make that happen. Anything but just flat down. But overall, the 1954 Godzilla is a win in my book. Next up in movie chronological order, we have the MechaGodzilla 1974, which is the, pretty much speaking, my only 6-inch MechaGodzilla. I know, it's pathetic, but trust me, when one comes out in decent price, that's when I snag it. Anyway, the overall detail is probably the most, I would say, consistent of the vinyls on this one in particular. Because for the head, we do have like a lot of like the signature metallic ridges you see in the film, and then like the little nuts and bolts you see throughout all the parts of the design, little nostrils in there, little missiles inside the mouth, which I don't know if I can't recall if he actually uses them or not. But we do have some red paint in there. Eyes are painted orange. That one's painted okay. That one has a little bit of Axis spray right there at the tip of my finger. And we do have some nice little red antennas that act as like ears. And we do have some more like the little fins that kind of go down the body. We have some more, again, kind of getting a little bigger. Then we kind of go down to the tip where we get like the little thruster, but going back to the main body. We have the little vents that I think the suit actors would actually see out of. So that's a nice little detail. More ridges here, more bolts. And then we have like a little orange antenna, or little, I can't remember what that served. Can't remember. MechaGodzilla emblem right there and there, all plastered in red. I do like actually the sculpt of the fingers. Like they actually did a really good job with that. A little segmenting, a little bit of details, and I do like the color variation they chose. A little darker gray versus the more metallic gray for the regular segments. And then we have like a little bit of a button down here, and then we have some more segmenting on the feet. And then kind of going down, we have just a lot more of like the bolts, and then we have, I'd hate to be kicked in the balls by this guy. A little more toe missiles, more segmenting, and especially going down here where we have a bunch of segments that lead down to the thruster. So overall, at least for sculpt and paint, MechaGodzilla is pretty much, in my opinion, again, the most consistent and jam-packed of it.